obviously there's a lot of stuff going on. I think there's a lot of fatigue generally in the world talking about what's going on today. But Yara and I saw this as an opportunity to say, hey, let's take a snapshot in time about what's going on in the market, specifically with marketers. And we took this snapshot in June, and part of the reason we took it then was in kind of a couple months earlier, it was too new, if you will. People had started to settle into scenario planning and stuff like that, and so we wanted to get a gauge, really, of what was going on from a marketer's perspective, and we really wanted to get a view of what people were doing. So that was the purpose of us running this survey, and so we used our own UGAM to do this. We surveyed 400 marketers across both the United States as well as the United Kingdom. And what I would do is urge all of you, I think in the resources section here, is download the report if you have not. And then if you have any questions that we don't get to answer today, feel free to reach out to Yara or myself. Okay? So if we're going to go into kind of the highlights of what we see in terms of the results that came back from the survey, what we see is that marketers broadly have really looked hard at their marketing activities. They've had to say, what are the things that make sense, and what are the things that don't make sense? And when they find things that don't make sense, they've had to eliminate them. Now, we did not get terribly deeply into reasons, but I can tell you from working with several clients, it's just the reality of things had to change, and if a program or something like that did not have a purpose or show results or enhance the value of the experience to the customer, it had to go. Secondly, or lastly here, we see that marketing spend increased, which I think is one of the more interesting findings in all this. I think there's been a lot of discussion in the news, mainly around media spend, which has seen a decrease, but here in broad marketing spend, it's gone up, and we're going to go diving into that. We are in a situation now where brands have had to reinvent their customer interactions. We see it all in our daily lives, and that has put pressures, frankly, on the marketer. I mean, everything is marketing now, right? Sales, service, site, CRM, everything is the marketer's domain in many respects, because it does drive that customer experience, which is the focus of many companies, as we saw in the study. So the acceleration of enabling customer centricity is there in the context of building a cohesive customer experience. So we're going to go into all these findings, but these are the things that we ultimately see. And then, so in summary, organizations are accelerating their marketing spend. They're looking at different scenarios. Even now, they're trying to understand, if this happens, what am I going to do? Where am I going to go? And then looking deeply into their customers and the data that they have to power the marketing that they're doing and the experiences for their customers. So let's dive into some of the more specific data, and I hope you guys have had a chance to look at this in the report. As I said before, do feel free to download this and reach out to Yara and myself with questions. Okay, so the first big finding I think that we see is that 52% of marketers have actually increased spending during this disruption. There are industries like we see in the chart here, like nonprofit, high tech, and travel and entertainment, that have been a little bit more conservative, and we understand that. But not all decrease in spending has been bad. We've seen some of our customers that have literally couldn't spend more on media or anything like that because the demand for their products is frankly so high. Spending more money would just really be a waste of it, right? And so we wanted to understand, when we set out with this particular question, what is happening with the budgets, and so we didn't have to hear, so we were able to cut through some of the noise that we hear in the marketplace. And as we said, what we see here is most people are really increasing their spend. Marketing is becoming more important. Going to the next piece, we wanted to ask the question, where are marketers spending that money?